being occupied by an enemy, right? Excessive taxation, taxation without representation, right? Excessive laws on the books where people can't function,
Mm-hmm.
right? All of the stuff that we dealing with right now is the same reason why the colonists wanted to separate from England, right? So they get a 200-year contract to do business separate from England, and England infiltrated and took them over using secret societies, primarily the Scottish Rite. So when they come in and they do that, most of the people don't know they fighting the system with the system. That's like trying to shoot at your enemy with the gun pointed at yourself. You can't fight the system with the system that don't belong here in the first place. You ain't gonna never win. They'll tell you in a ruling that you right, that the United States is a corporation. And when they get done, all they got to do is put this word MOOT to your arguments, and it's like you ain't never said nothing. And they do have cases on the books where somebody using the law and they absolutely right, but the judge say that the ruling is moot, and then don't give them any relief. I read plenty of those cases where they tell him he right all the way through his appeal, but then when it come time to rule on it, his arguments became moot. So they declined to issue a ruling on his behalf. That's a rigged system. They just don't want thinkers running around in the neighborhood infecting other people with some stuff called critical thinking. Because then we start seeing cultural behavior being criminalized by a foreign agency or system. So we got to reverse engineer everything that was done coming into this mess. We had to see it going out. Now we at the 1776 mark, where the Republic was taken over between 1776 and 1783 with the secondary constitution. This is the struggle to get us from under the Admiralty back under the Republic jurisdiction so that they can surrender it back to tribal jurisdiction, the great law, the law of the land, aka the common law. And then the tribal courts be reenacted, and you had chiefs that's presiding in the tribal court according to his ability to administer law. And the best person for the job is who gets the job.
That's something. That is something. Now I'm gonna ask this question because I know this has been going. I'm gonna move me down here so you can see, and then as we go along, I'm gonna move it over because for some reason this sign is up here and it's stopping us from being seen. So I'll move it around as we go around. Once my question is asked, I'll move niche back. Okay, right. I'm predicting, and I'm gonna say it, that we're gonna have some crap going on. And the reason why I'm saying it is because my mortgage company sends me a statement with $200 extra on my mortgage. And so, okay, I'm like, is this a late fee? I'm trying to figure it out. What's going on? Where is this $200 coming from? Well, they done put up the taxes and the home insurance. That's, I don't know if you experienced it yet or what have you, but around the globe, I started asking people, did your mortgage go up? My mortgage went up $200, not $50, not $200. And that's the reason why I'm saying that we are going to have an issue, because they're saying because taxes went up and they have to charge us more now for mortgage. Eggs, $7. And I'm sorry they have to keep saying it, but it frustrated me so bad this afternoon in the supermarket. You don't find that to be like weird out of nowhere, saying the property value went up in my house. I got too much equity, all kinds of stuff, anything to push it up to that $200. And it's
Okay, so
almost like no way around it.
you got to ask them to show you where in the contract you agreed to them to be able to raise your mortgage without notice.
And then I find, and I don't know if anybody knows this, it's called tax assessor. I call
Mhm.
them, right? For some people, you can be exempt from tax. I never knew this, but in arguing with the mortgage company, they said, yeah, my mortgage went up. So I don't think it's at a fixed rate because for some reason it can go up. I just read something in the chat. But you can be exempt from some taxes. So they just sent me the application to have me exempt from some certain taxes in this area. And it also includes what area you live in as well. If you live in a somewhat nice area, they'll start putting these taxes on you. Like, what the easy? So I'm just saying, I think that everybody that's experiencing that should check that because
Yeah.
that's a problem. That's an issue.
Okay.
And
Now, what
mhm.
happened? What happened when the rollout comes for the collapse of the banks? The the bottom falls out of the mortgage industry. They already been told both auto loans and house loans, where mortgages are, have been already instructed to find ways to liquidate those mortgages. In other words, get that property to them people and stop making them pay. But they don't want. They not going to do it until they forced to do it because they still believe they running something. They not running nothing no more.
Mhm. Mhm.
So
Okay.
yeah, they gonna raise your mortgage. They might do a whole bunch of other stuff. That's part of the chaos.
Right. I'm going to look into the fixed rate situation because that don't make no sense.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
Under
And you, sorry, go ahead, Brett.
yeah, under fixed rate, they're not supposed to be able to raise um your mortgage, especially without your consent. They normally give you a MOU, memorandum of understanding, to sign as an addendum to the contract.
I know I'm going to
I
look into
think what
that
hap-
rate situation come Tuesday because schools and everything is closed on Monday. So I'm going to look into that because I don't know what's going on. I was like, ugh.
yeah, I think what's happening is that right. So a lot of people put in the hey, Sakina, baby, about the fixed rate or adjustable rate mortgage. So yeah, for sure. So like, make sure you should know if you have like an adjustable rate mortgage, which means that depends on the interest rate, it fluctuates, right? Or your fixed rate. Like I have a fixed rate mortgage, but my payments definitely increase because of the homeowners insurance.
Yeah,
That
Behind it, you were never supposed to be able to find the unseen hand, the hidden hand, the black hand of that Moorish man dangling from under that white KKK robe. Fucking Bixby ass nigga. The biggest trick they ever played on us was to tell us we with you, brother. We believed them until we was deceiving for their deception. Go back and listen to Sammy Davis Jr. talking about it was niggas that killed Malcolm X, and that's why he was surrounded himself by Italian mafiosos because they was trying to kill his ass too. And it ain't no secret. He went to Frank Sinatra for help at the advice of Dean Martin.
That's
Became part of the Rat Pack so he
that's
could have mild protection from them black nigga Jews.
I heard about that. Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's facts.
He was telling me back then, not just him. Malcolm says a distinct difference between the house Negro and the field Negro. We didn't know what he was talking about till Steve Coakley told us that when Malcolm discovered him, he called them the Council of Six because he said as far as Malcolm could see from where he was looking at, right? This is when Steve Coakley is unveiling the Black Boule. The Black Boule Society sheep dip members from the Divine Nine. sororities and fraternities, right? As they get to the talented 10th, this is where he said W.E.B. Du Bois came in. At the talented 10th is where they select the ones that they gonna put in front of you as an example to show you that they can control you without telling you they control it. Basic mathematics. Whether they salvage right jurisdiction of the crash of the Plymouth, which was the Mayflower, is to send an expedition. Now remember, while Lewis and Clark is going north and west, all of the tribes going to give support to the war effort in Florida is going south and east. So when they see all of the castles empty, because I'm not sending my son to war and I ain't fighting next to him. This is how we move over here on the land. But over there, they will send their son to war and stay at home under their blanket in front of the fireplace. We didn't believe in that over here. So while we was going to fight in the Gullah Wars, they assessing the land off of the assessment of the Louisiana Purchase. Apparently, the report comes back, there's no royalty on the land because the castles is empty. What castles? The one in Chicago, Minnesota, Montana, all the way across to Oregon and Washington State. So we all going to fight in the war. They saying that the crash site was bigger than they anticipated and they needed to expand their salvage operations, which opened up the squatters lanes. The squatter lanes came in when there was large portions of land appointed to a tribe by the tribal mother council. But because the tribe only lived in a small portion of the land, they assumed, oh, this ain't nobody land. But when you go back and you look at all of the attempts to buy land from the chiefs, we look at them like they crazy. You can't buy it. You can't buy and sell Mama Earth. That's the most ridiculous thing we ever heard of. Right? So they create their paperwork, their alloidial title system, in order to lay claim under the salvage right what the squatter has returned to the crown.
Can somebody mute up, please? Make sure you guys ladies on mute.
Or make sure that their YouTube is actually shut off.
Just mute up. Just mute up. Yes. But I'm so happy that we got Rod. You bringing the ladies out tonight. We have Big Sister YM, Z-Real, Goddess Moalita. Sorry if I mispronounced that. Welcome, ladies. Welcome to the show. Welcome to the show. Who came up first? I'm not sure.
Big so much. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Peace and love, ladies. I love what you sisters are doing. And, you know, I've been pretty much, you know, I'm raised in Brooklyn, New York all of my life. Right now, I live in Delaware. My thing was, I know you do. I've been waiting for us to bump heads and so we can link up. But, you know, so I've been on this journey, my sisters and Uncle Rod, for many, many years. But I am a lesbian woman, so even though I'm on this journey, I'm not often accepted by our community. Now, as someone that does live Wusabat, Baba Yanu only taught us love. That is it. But I try to extend that to our brothers and sisters, and it's not often received because of how I live. And I think that's a personal choice of mine, and it doesn't have anything to do with what I stand for. What I stand for is love, peace, and unity. Because I'm a 70s baby, and when I was coming up, that's all we knew. And I feel as though when we had nothing, we were better off as a people. But now, because we have all these devices and all these things taking our attention away, what is the prize? We are lost because our babies have fallen prey to all of this. We were born, you know, coming up in the 70s. I'm from Marcy Projects, my grandparents rather. And, you know, we didn't always have, but we had each other. and we had love. And love is the thing that I feel is lacking the most. So this is why I love what you sisters do, and I love you, Uncle Rod, and I just love us. And I just want to see us do better. But I see so many of our brothers and sisters, they're lost. They're lost. I talk to them all the time because I'm on the wrong side of Delaware. Because I let somebody move me from New York to here, and this is where I wound up. And I sometimes feel like I'm on the wrong side because no one around me is like-minded like me. So
That's
I
probably
just
why
feel
you're
like,
there.
yeah, and I thought about that too, Uncle Rod, and I said, I've been here for 11 years. I must be here for a reason. You know what I'm saying? And I'm constantly trying to reach my people. Please stop, stop, stop what you're doing. But it's so hard. And then my family, I just try to reach all of them. But it seems like nobody's listening most of the time.
Well, somebody listening. It must like that might not be the one you trying to get the message to, but somebody listening.
Thank you,
It's
thank
always,
you. You
it's
know,
always, it's always somebody listening. Why
Always.
you in your personal life? That's your personal business, and they're the ones without seeing to cast the first stone.
Okay. That part.
thank
I,
you, thank you, thank you. That's what I always say too.
And you can put your information in the private chat. Okay. Because we do
Okay,
sister
yes, I
talks.
will.
We do sister talks, and we love to hear the opinions of other sisters, concerning what our fight, what we going through.
Thank you, and I will do that. And for you
Okay.
sisters, I'm waiting on my Cash App to come in the mail right now because I really stopped messing with Cash App once that incident happened with the guy that was owning Cash App. I kind of just stopped. But once my Cash App does come, I will be sending you sisters something, and that is from me to you, and that's out of love.
Thank
Oh,
you.
Cause
that's so kind.
I don't have nothing but my word, and my word is my bond.
Okay.
The fact that you're here with us tonight is more than
Right.
enough, and we appreciate
Yeah.
your presence and your support,
Appreciate
really and truly.
Thank you,
you.
thank you.
Definitely, and send love to definitely Chief
Hey,
Hyman.
girl in the house. Hey, girly girl.
Yes, yes, you got it. All right, who's next? Come on, y'all, with the questions. Who came in next? Z.
Z Real. Z
Hey,
Real. Hey, Z Real. Hey, sister.
How are you guys?
hi,
How are
oh,
you
hello.
having me?
Right. We'll bring the sisters out.
we're bringing the ladies out, right?
Yes,
Yes.
yes,
I
yes.
love it.
And
I
Chief,
love it.
It's that black girl magic.
how to
Okay.
Uh-oh. Black
When
girl
you
magic. I put that shit on everything.
okay.
Okay.
There you go, there you go.
All right, Z-Real, sorry. We like, how we are. Go ahead, you got
oh,
it.
I'm here for the festivities. Okay. I'm
Jump
ready
in.
for children all day, every day. So I appreciate the sisters. And Chief P, of course. Now listen, this is the thing that I had an issue with, right? How come some Spaniard people play like they with us, but they came over? So I'm usually confused as to which group claims Native American heritage, which group is acting like they're us and down with us because they embody my children. So in East Harlem, 116, that's where we usually where I derived from when I started raising my children. And so my children made a group.
Harlem?
You know,
Excuse me, Harlem, Miss
baby,
Harlem?
I sent you a shout out when you said it, boo.
Harlem World all day. What?
Day.
All day.
Now,
Sorry, you
I'm
got it.
originally from Brooklyn, so y'all
I got
already
it.
know we can go
I got
back.
it.
BK in the building.
And I am from Nostrand Avenue, from
Me
Yes.
too. Big up in they what?
right.
New
We
Shout
York.
out
from
to shout out to all five boroughs in NYC, the
All
Empire
day.
State, the Big
All
Apple.
day long. New York. All day long.
Yes.
I keeps it moving. I keeps it moving. But anyway, so what I notice is that we're mixed, and so my children are mixed. So when they go down into the Spanish community, they are embraced. So I can understand the Spaniards that are there. Now I moved to PA, and I really can't tell the difference. So in PA, they set themselves apart from our nation. So
Okay,
it was
let
like
me give you a little background that might help you understand what's going on. The Spaniards um, invaded all of those Latin American countries that gave them the language of Spanish. And the other people that's not as dark as us know that it's a conflict going on between two groups of people with similar phenotypes with different genetic backgrounds. Smashed us all together to see if we can figure out who he is 200 years later. So they don't want to get caught up in the conflict between the L's and the B's. They look at it like I'm staying out of y'all family business, but when it's time for us to take a side, we already picked a side. In most Spanish speaking countries, they identify with their native origin more than they do the colonizer's origin. The Puerto Ricans, Arawak Boricua,
right,
right? It's the same with most of the islands have kindred tribes. When you get to Mexico, you got different ethnic stocks throughout Mexico, but all they show you is the Chinese Negro hybrid. They don't show you the Afro Mexicans or the ones up in the mountains fighting for liberation for the Zapatista. They don't show you those Mexicans because they too dark and some of them curls is too tight. So they don't want you to think that Mexico have a diversified cultural background of different tribes from the land. We do. We always had every skin color over here. Skin color was not the issue. Skin color was the parameters of war gave to us as what we call legal doctrine of free white persons, the attackers, the invaders, and the black pieces, which is the defenders, the civilly mortis, the ones found dead at sea in a salvage operation, right? So the Spanish, they want to be a part of the tribal team that's victorious. When you hear El Chapo talking to them Mexicans, you gonna understand what I'm talking about. Because he been communicating with Larry Hoover and Malachi York, and I didn't even know Larry Hoover knew how to speak Spanish, but apparently he do.
For sure. And I was going to ask you about that. I wanted to ask you about Dr. York. And go ahead.
but when they're in Spanish Harlem, even the Mexicans, they do not associate with us. They identify. They have that party, that parade all up Third Avenue. They monopolize, and I know because I used to live on the 12th floor, and they start that sucker 9:30, 10 o'clock with that daggone parade. And they go all day. But they do not they live in our neighborhoods, but they do not give recognition at all to us. Now, I'm anti, I go, because you ain't on my roster, I can't be bored.
As long as they don't recognize us, I'm good with that.
Well, you know what? So
Yeah, but they're in our neighborhoods, not to cut you off. They're in our neighborhoods. They sell us their products. We buy them. Don't get us started with the corn and stuff. But they get crazy with that. However, they'll sell us. They'll take our money, and they don't speak to you or interact in the same and psychologically.
Yes.
That I was from Brooklyn. Now Brooklyn, that's a family hood. You know, you all up and down.
You know, all of those stores that they own now, we used to own them.
yeah. But you know what? So there is a distinction, right? So those from Central America, the Mexicans, Guatemalan, there's a clear separation. But I know growing up, Puerto Ricans always identified themselves as black. Like if there were Dominicans were the ones that were like, I ain't black. A Dominican will tell you in a heartbeat they not black.
Don't leave the Cubans out.
It's like, but like I know in my high school, usually in terms of the Spanish kids, like if you was Boricua, right? If you was Puerto Rican, usually they were hanging out with the black kids in Harlem.
You know,
The Dominicans were the ones who was like, no, we're
Yeah,
not.
that Joe said, I didn't even know I wasn't a nigga. They said they just to the foundation of Black Americans told me.
You know what? I think that our
Say
problem.
that again. Say
I
that
think.
again.
I'm sorry.
What
I
did
think
what
that.
did,
Hmm.
what did he say? Can he say that again? What did he say?
Rod Hayes.
I said, Fat Joe. He said, I didn't even know I wasn't a nigga to the foundation of Black Americans told me I wasn't.
Mm,
No,
But
he always knew he was a nigga. He just a Puerto Rican nigga.
but in Harlem, they associate with Caucasian. They do. Do. They
Mm-hmm.
don't
I'm
see.
sorry, but she's right. She's right. Me
Mm-hmm.
being from Brooklyn, New York, do you know how many times I've been outside in a Hispanic neighborhood waiting for a cab in the pouring down rain and they wouldn't stop for me?
Oh,
Mm-hmm.
I lived on Linden in
yeah.
Lower Mall projects, nothing but Hispanics out there. They looked at me like I had three heads, like I wasn't even a part of them at
Okay,
all.
I want you to think about this for a second. It's 5 boroughs in New York, but it's one city. Look at each borough and tell me the common denominator that separates them. They
We
normally, groups of people gravitate to a specific borough,
True.
right? The reason they gravitate to that borough is that's their assigned location on the land. Now,
Hmm.
original tribal rules say that when you come over here to stay under your own vine and fig tree, don't impose your cultural beliefs and your personal beliefs on the neighboring clans. They follow it. We want them to come and impose their stuff on us. Let them people be about their business. Because when the rubber meet the road and the shit hit the fan, you're gonna look over and you're gonna see a Mexican on this side of you, and a Puerto Rican on that side of you, a Jamaican behind you, a Haitian in front of you, and then you're gonna see a whole bunch of us regular niggas.
All right, let's hear from Goddess Malati. I'm
one
sorry,
more
is he
thing.
really?
On
Go.
125th Street, they monopolize, take over, where the indigenous man can't even make it a sale and take care of his own family. They'll run.
Remember
Hmm.
that we used to have all of that stuff they got before they had it.
Right.
You got to think about why we don't got it now.
But
But
that's
Uncle
why.
Rod, it wasn't like that. Like when I was growing up in the '70s, like when my uncle came home from Vietnam, he had
Y'all
a
not
bunch of
speaking to y'all
Hispanic
niggas.
friends. But what happened? How did we get so separated?
Big sister, hold on. Uh, Crystal, Miss KL,
yes.
is that goddess Molita? Can you? Somebody has to mute up because it's double check. It's coming back as back chat. And big sister, once you're done, we're gonna get goddess Molita. She's been waiting for a minute. Ask the question.
Go ahead, sister. I'm done. I'm done.
Mute up if mute up everyone else, please. Goddess Molita, you have it. You have the floor. Welcome, Goddess Molita.
Can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am. Welcome to Unscrambled Mind.
Thank you. Thank you. I just want to send love and light to the whole panel. Chief Pontiac.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
How you doing, sir?
I'm not doing too good. I
What's
had a
wrong?
dinner. Well, I'm a little bit under the weather. I went to the dentist and I'm just trying to recover from that.
No, okay.
But what I want to say, Chief has unscrambled this egg so well that our language is what has to change. When we're referring to ourselves as Black and all the other names that they have
Misnomers.
tried, yeah, the misnomers, and y'all bear with me because I usually don't come in and speak live. So I'm a little nervous and I'm a little bit under the weather. But anyway, what I want to say is the words that we use is so relevant today in this time that we have to work on changing our language. Our language is atrocious. We're calling ourselves things that we're not. People are referring to us as things that we are not. And every chance that I get, I work on correcting people. And I just say, like, your language is what is causing you to think like white people was this, black people was that. And there's a sister who runs I don't think, no, I think it's a Facebook. I think her name is Lisa Siren or something. And she broke down that white thing I mean, not the white thing, the black thing so well. The pale people are the black people. Am I not correct, Chief?
To blacken means to make pale.
Right. And all this slavery talk, they were the ones who were being shipped on, what was that, cargo ships and containers.
Mm-hmm.
And so what they have basically done is flipped the narrative to try to make us think that this is us that they're talking about.
Absolutely.
And it's not us. But we keep getting wrapped up in it like, oh, well, this land was the slave land and this, that, and no. Chief has pointed out to us clearly who own this land. And not own it, true caretakers, right, Chief?
Yeah.
Yeah. So we just have to learn how to start putting that type of language into our tongues so we can correct these people. Because I'm at the point where I'm just tired of the nonsense, right? And people walking around here not understanding who or not knowing who we are. It's time over for that. And we have to begin to walk in our sovereignty. And forget whoever want to say they don't want to be around us for whatever reason, because that's pure ignorance. We are everybody's parent as indigenous people of Turtle Island. Okay, Chief, and then last thing, because I know I can go on and on and on, and y'all gave me some energy because I was feeling so bad. But I tapped into this thing. I didn't even know how to do it. So I was probably the one messing up the static and all that. But anyway,
You here now?
I'm here and I'm grateful. And I give thanks to all of y'all that do what y'all do. I've been working to try to get enough courage up to try to start my own little content. However, I'm still waiting to see which way we turn in this boat, because some people still too confused for me, right? And I don't get the confusion no more. We know who we are. We know what has happened. If you want to claim that you some type of American or U.S. citizen, then that means that you are a part of Washington, D.C. And what is Washington, D.C., Chief? District Columbia, right?
It's closed down now.
And it's closed down. So what are we constantly arguing about when we talking about who is who? We just need to stand up and change our language and forget what these so-called white people or any other ignorant mind is constantly trying to, not predict, but, the narrative. They're still going with that narrative.
Mm-hmm.
It's straight bullshit.
You got to remember that the number one tool was divide and conquer. The more divisive they make us between ourselves, the more control they have over our movement. And the unity comes in when if you watch nature, when the tribes are about to join together or the clans, first they huddle up amongst each other first, right? It's what you're looking at culturally. All of the cultures is first they go over to themselves, right? Nature gonna do that. They're gonna naturally make them gravitate to the people like them in the local area. So you'll see, like in New York, you'll see the separation of the different Spanish speaking groups. Because the Puerto Ricans don't live exactly with the Dominicans. They might live neighbor to each other in buildings, but they know that this is the Puerto Rican building, and this is the Dominican building, and this is the Mexican building. So they all speak Spanish, but they all still come And they first, before they can spread out with the unity, they first have to come together with themselves to say, okay, now let's assess what we have here. But we not realizing what's taking place, so we missing the opportunity to do a self-assessment for the benefit of our community because they got everybody so individually focused on me, myself, and I that nobody's looking at. Okay, first we all come together among ourselves, and now you in a position where your unity have its maximum impact, right? Because the unity can't have a maximum impact until we are aware of who we are on the land and where we at. Right? That's the same thing that Sun Tzu say about knowing how to move your troops. So you seeing these things taking place by nature. While we are mobbing up, we tribing up, we clicking up, we posseing up, because we getting ready to ride out, but we don't know that we getting ready to ride out. But we all feel it. So we just behaving in a certain manner before we go out and start putting the new world in order.
Yeah, that's exactly what's taking place. And what I see, I'm in California, in the Bay Area. So what I see is a lot of people who don't look like me. They running scared for whatever reason. And I try to be, I try to calm people down, and be like, we've been through worse things than this election that all y'all seem to be worried about.
Yeah, that's right.
So I just want to know when we gonna start saying this is Turtle Island. Stop calling this shit America, and this type of thing. When we gonna start just changing our language? We're not black. Let's get that off our tongue, please. Now we know it's ours though. It's our nickname. Look, I tell people all the time it's our nickname.
I like to say I'm organic, original Mississippi Clay Dirt Walker.
I know. Yes, you do say that.
So
And I consider myself organic to the land as well. But I'm working to get us not back anywhere, but to reinstate what our ancestors have already put together for us. Did they not call this place Turtle Island?
hey, and that's
So
why this race don't go to the swift. It go to the slow and steady. That's what my mama told me. That's that old totem. Slowly
yes.
walking up on the finish line while that rabbit running around in circles playing games. He could have won the race.
By
He
now.
just couldn't find the finish line.
Just real quickly, if you have asked a question, I might have to drop you down because we have people waiting in the back, and we need to free up some space. Does anyone?
Okay, no, I just really had comments. You see, I'm going on and on and on, but I want to
No,
tap in
no, no.
because I'm
Don't
so
apologize.
grateful for you all. I'm so
We love
grateful
to
for
have
you all.
We love to have the, we appreciate you. Don't ever apologize. And definitely start your channel. Nothing to be afraid of. Let us know. We will definitely support. So
So, and then light bulbs will start going off because tribally, what I do is called speaking in light code. Before we get started, somebody in the deficient makes you have an unhealthy craving for strange foods. And one of the things that's a comfort food is sugars. If sugar is not the problem, though many people think it is, it's the bleaching agents used to turn the sugar white. Sugar doesn't need to be white, never was white until they started bleaching it. Brown sugar is just natural cane sugar mixed with molasses. Right now they use bleached white sugar mixed with molasses to make brown sugar. Right, the brain use about 80% of your glucose in the transferring of the energy through the neural networks. 80%. And this is why geniuses always got a sweet tooth because they can't keep up with the rapid glucose burn in their brain. They'll become narcoleptic. They're not getting enough glucose to the brain. And then The tribes already knew about the association of the dirty burn. That's the rapid burning carbs, converting the soot in the brain, which mirrors the melanin, which increases the capability of the melanin to use the soot in order to expand its own consciousness without the rest of the body. It's called a dirty burn. It's the same as if you burn something and black smoke come off of it. It's not hot enough to consume it in its entirety, so it creates a dirty burn. The purified smoke is the white smoke, which is what they call a clean burn. The cleanest burn has no smoke, right? So we don't have to deal with who got the cure for cancer. The med bed can cure all that, which is the ancient sarcophagi, ancient Kemet, or the tombs that was kept in the caves in Tibet. They've been had the technology. It's not new. Most of the stuff they telling us is new technology. It's written about in ancient Hindu texts that's older than half of the civilizations in existence on the planet. They got the writings that tell us about millions of years of history in India. We used to have it over here, but this strange group called Smithsonian Institute decided that we didn't need our own history. So what did they do with it? They put it in underground caves on national parks. All national parks have a repository archive of original indigenous information that they don't want the public to have general access to. You have to literally go there. You have to make an appointment, set up who you want to talk to about what part of the history you're looking for. And if they just so happen to name it wrong, they'll say that's not here. Because they don't want you going in there, but they can't stop you. So they just tell you that the part you're looking for ain't there, and it's there. They just call it something different than you call it with your modern education. So they can easily dismiss you at that point. So we can go and get started now, Sister Freedom.
Wait, say something. Just like you said when you go to the doctors, he said the what it is the infection or whatever it is gets into a ball. Like if you have brain cancer and they said it's like a tumor. And it becomes a tumor. And once they go in to remove it, they bust it and it goes all through your body.
That's called metastasized.
And I was like, wow. And it kind of made sense. You know what I mean? Like they say when it gets to the tumor ball, it's taking the infection or whatever it is that they're calling cancer, and they putting it and it gets in there and it like secures it. But if you bust it,
it's free. So the body has the natural response to toxins and foreign agents of putting them into an isolated situation. That's what boils and cysts are. It's the same thing as cancer. Mm. But the deeper it is in the body, the more toxic it is to the body, and that's why the body isolates it so heavily. And they can test your antibodies to tell what kind of cancer it is. That's all part of the immune system. Most of our lymphatic systems is clogged up with aluminum. If you look at any deodorant, almost all deodorants, the main active ingredient is aluminum. Well, also aluminum is fluoride. A lot of us don't know that. Fluoride's actual name is aluminum fluoride. If you go in your kitchen right now and you got a clean aluminum pan in your cabinet, I don't care how clean it is. If it sit there for about an hour, you can run your finger across it and it's gonna have a black dust on it. Mm. That's called aluminum fluoride. It's a byproduct of the oxidization of aluminum. They make it come in massive quantities when they process an aluminum in factories to make it usable in this respective industry, especially when they tempering it under high heat. The side effect is it produces a lot of burn off in the form of aluminum fluoride. The fluoride used to be used to poison rats before it was ever put into our toothpaste. It was the active ingredients in rat poison, aluminum fluoride. The use of these things slows down the lymphatic system, which is it's like the drainage system for the sludge in the body. It comes out in the form of perspiration, primarily between the legs, behind the head, and under the arms. If you put on deodorants, you put an aluminum on, which restricts the release of the moisture from the lymphatic system and causes the lymph node to flare up. So you end up with knots under your arms that's tender to the touch, or between your groin, on the side of your groin. That's where your main lymph nodes are. You got them behind your head, you got them under your neck, right? Your lymphatic system is a waste removal system, just like the liver, the kidneys, and the intestines. When you clog them up, you can't get rid of it. So the body's natural defense is to encapsulate the poison.
Makes a lot of sense. Makes a lot of sense. We've taken it with our ebonics and made it into something
Powerful.
positive and powerful. And I don't know if everybody knew it, and this is where we left off, was that white people are starting their own community. And Dots, did you want to play something on that? Dots,
I'm here, baby.
did you want to play what is being said about that, or did you want to go on?
No, you talk about it, right? Like inside the white only town that's located in Arkansas, in the Ozarks, or what have you. We talked about that briefly Friday. Ran out of time or what have you, and so we started with part two. And of course, I'm sure it'll weave into the boycott that we were talking about on Friday.
Mm-hmm.
So we see that as I'm pulling that up to share it, we see that there's 321 folks in the building. Please remember to hit the like button. We would really appreciate that.
And subscribe.
It's at the bottom, pinned. So yes, please show love. We appreciate you guys.
And Rod, I'm sorry, Dots, you had said something to me when we were talking about this on the phone, and you said, you know what, Freddie?
But and they even went so far as to grind some of our ancestors up. They found so it's another part to this too. They're gonna come up, but they wanted to hide those bodies because those bodies show that, hey, these Nubians, this is as high as they mama find 9,000-10,000 years in these mounds, and then these people Nubians, and then they took even certain colors that they had that you can't even find these colors. They found certain colors in the tombs, and they grinded the colors up and then put them into a jar and say, oh yeah, this is a rare color, right? But this is the question I want to ask you off of that. Now, do you think they was doing cannibalism? Because I read a book that somebody told me about. It's called The Science of Cannibalism, I think. I got it in my collection. And I just scanned through it. I didn't really read the whole thing, but it was because it was so creepy and just disgusting. But it was talking about how they were digging up our ancestors over here in the mounds and all around the world and eating and grinding them up and eating them for some kind of energy or something. So do you think that the Smithsonian Institute, why are they collecting all of our ancestors' brains and bodies from these mounds? And is it a cover up? And because is it some kind of energy siphon or something? And why would you disturb our ancestors' tomb? Go ahead.
One word: Eucharist, communion. You remember what the communion was, Adam?
In church? You talking about in church?
It's a
Yeah,
long held.
cannibalism. It's they drink the blood and they eat the body.
Right. Okay, now,
Yeah.
people don't understand what cannibals believe about eating people. And you seen cannibalism a lot in ancient times on the battlefield. And you would hear stories about strong warriors being taken down in battle, and the one who took them down would eat his heart.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
From the warrior perspective, that served two purposes. The warrior that took him down absorbs his spiritual essence that gave him his strength. And the downed warrior is honored by the warrior that stands over him victorious, being worthy to consume his heart. So they become one warrior now. Remember Jet Li the One?
Yeah.
So it's like that. But in order to activate the energy, you have to eat his heart. That's one form of cannibalism. Then you got the cannibalism where they go to war, they kill off the chief and his family, and then they roast him and eat him. Same principle. Because the ones who they conquered, they were showing reverence to him by deeming them worthy to consume and becoming one. So when you hear about the Smithsonian harvesting brains, right? They wasn't just harvesting any old brains, or they'd have had way more than what 5,000. She said.
Yeah, crazy number.
They would have way more brains than that. So, what was the selection process that went into which brain they would exhume and recover? Right? If the heart is for the warrior, what is the brain for? The intellect. Right? They trying to find
the pineal gland.
Right. The pineal gland is a whole nother animal.
They was extracting it out of the black man brain.
Yeah, it's like a jewel to them. They put them in the mojo bag, but that's a whole nother story.
Yeah.
But they taking these brains to the Smithsonian Institute, a museum, right? Some of us grew up that had parents from the South knowing about scrambled brains, scrambled pig brains with eggs, right? A lot of us don't know about it.
Yeah, I know about it.
Right, but that was what we had to eat because we couldn't eat what they call choice parts. It's also beef brain. So the brain holds a significance for the power of the intellect, and the heart holds a certain frequency for a warrior. Did you ever hear the warriors always talk about how much heart somebody got in a fight?
Yeah.
It is commonly equated to courage.
Yeah.
The ability to stand in the face of opposition fearlessly.
Yeah.
Right? This is the energy they're trying to take in to help them conquer who they is. Right? And you also got to remember, they believe they take on the essence of the one they consume. This is why they still do communion in the church, continuing the simulated cannibalism of consuming the God.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right, but they don't know the purpose of it. They think they're commemorating the Last Supper.
Yeah.
They're not commemorating the Last Supper. They're commemorating cannibalism.
Reptilian.
Right, and the energy harvesting of consuming the God.
Eating his body and drinking his blood. And they ain't caught on to that shit. Man, you ain't caught on to that? That's that sound like, come on, man. That don't sound like no holy roll or stuff. Eating a man's body, drinking a man's blood. Even if it is symbolic. So they want to say, oh yeah, well, it's symbolic. That makes it even worse. Because that means it's a spell. It's a spell.
Yeah. So that's how magic works.
Right.
right? So when the genuine article is not available, you allowed to use a comparable substitute,
That's right.
right? And based on the culture that you live in, is they say that it's been banned. Cannibalism is outlawed, as they say, but they still have a communion.
Right.
So in the facsimile, the duplicate, the replica, is the bread, which signifies the flesh, and the wine, which signifies the blood.
Yeah.
Notice the wine is wine when grape juice turns to alcohol, right?
Yeah.
Which is also tapping into another frequency of spirits. The alcohol is called spirits.
Right. That's right.
Right. So when you use them as formula, if you study high magic or ceremonial magic, they tell you that if you can't find a general article, reasonable facsimile can be substituted.
That's right. That's a fact.
Right. So if I got a spell that requires beaver testicles, but I don't live around beavers, I can use a muskrat.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right. So the comparative analysis, the spiritual energy recognized the event as if the event was the same event as the first event that is built on.
Right.
So if they sacrifice the god to start the program, then you sacrificing every time you maintain the program.
Yep.
That's called conjure maintenance.
Yeah.
That's how you keep a spell going. You got to maintenance the conjure. And this is why we went back to war, and the war 1812 gave the devil an extension.
Right.
Right? They tell us all these other reasons for the war, but they don't tell you the real reason is because the tribes rebelled. Nobody was maintaining the conjure. So it reset the clock back to the original conjure that began with the blood of Crispus Attucus. So it was supposed to end in 1776. 1976, the bicentennial. Right? But it'll take another 50-something years because the war 1812 reset their clock. This is what Elijah Muhammad was talking about. The devil got an extension. And I think it was Message to the Black Man or either the Fall of America. But he was talking about the devil getting an extension. It's best based on not maintenance in the conjure, then the conjure being maintenance. This is your black codes, maintenance in the conjure.
Yeah.
Your restrictions on learning. Yeah. Your restriction on acquisition of wealth. Your restriction on families' cohesion. Right? Separating them. Shipping them off. Right? They had stuff they couldn't answer for. Because one of the elders was talking about how they take this woman baby to that plantation.
Yeah.
She ain't worried about her child. Because when they bring the child from that other plantation to her plantation, that's her child now.
Yeah.
Right? So they know their child gonna be taken care of no matter which family farm they took to. Right? So they had to break that up. So they had to spoil the women. And one bad fruit will spoil the whole bunch.
Yes, they can. Go ahead. Hey, Rod, you said something about the spells. I heard when I was studying Aleister Crowley and them, and they was talking about that he was one of the most powerful. That they really in their witch because once you're a witch and you go amongst the other witches, they don't get offended like that. You don't stand out. Like I can go amongst them, right? Once I found out that I was a wizard too, right? Mm-hmm. When I get amongst them, they say that Aleister Crowley was one of their number one guys, like for the bad ones. They say, "Oh yeah, well he's our number one guy, like the best guy, like the most hot. Like he showed us a lot, right?" And then they goes into say that the longest spell that can be casted is only can last 6 months. And I said, "Damn, that's
without maintenance."
Yeah, without maintenance. I just bring out back what you said, and it goes the same with the jab. That's why they had to keep giving you the jab because it was alchemy, it was witchcraft, or pharmacy is with it being witchcraft. So it was witchcraft. So they got to keep giving you a jab every 6 months, or they got to keep doing maintenance on that spell. Just like you said, it all ties back to what you said about it, the spell got to be maintenance. It got to be a ritual. That's why they do the Mama's Parade in Philadelphia, and they do like in England they had where they paint the black face. Well, they stopped probably doing it now because that's why it's coming to an end, because they can't keep that maintenance on that ritual. That's why the Moors waking up. Look, so somebody stopped it. The Philadelphia parade where they march with the black face with our faces on, and then they go do it in England too, right? The Mama's parades. So I think they stopped that now. So, but that was maintenance. They did that every January 1st and April, like during the time when they sacked the Moors, like in 1492. So you think that was a maintenance ritual? Go ahead.
They still do it in Spain. They never stopped doing it in Spain.
Go ahead.
Right, and it is the maintenance of a ritual, right? But you brought up Crowley. Crowley was known as the Beast, 666, right? And he was known for being rebellious to every secret society he joined. Now, in order to understand what Crowley was and what Crowley was doing, you got to know his history. You got to know he grew up with a fanatical father that was a Christian preacher. And that he gave a vow that not only would he expose the church, but he said, this is when he was like 12 years old. He said he's going to expose the church, and he's going to go into the Masons, because the Masons was the ones who had the hold on his father stronger than the church, and put all of their secrets out. Right? He said, I'm going to tell it all. Right? So this is why none of the occultists of the era, they couldn't stand Crowley, because he was putting all of their secrets in the public domain. Right? His epic work, Gems of the Equinox, right? He got so much knowledge in there related to the practice of magic that was never supposed to get out into the public. It was supposed to be kept concealed behind lodged doors. That's the only way that the ones contracted as Masons, because they under contract if they in the Brotherhood. The ones those are speculative Masons. Operative Masons is the ones who live in their life doing the actual work, what they call the magnum opus, the great arcana, right, of building the society of heaven on earth in the midst of being attacked from all angles from the devil, who is the contracted ones. So it becomes a war against Masons and Freemasons, right? So in order to be a Freemason, you have to be a traveling man. You have to be on the land, occupying very diverse places and maintaining your character the whole time, which ties back to understanding what it means to be royalty. Royalty ain't just the blood alone. It's also the character development that makes you worthy to sit on the seat called the throne. You're not worthy if you don't go through the struggles of life to hone your character and your skill set so that you can be an asset to the collective instead of being a liability. Tyrants is liabilities. They only out for selfish gain and selfish agendas. So you don't want to put a tyrant on the throne. But you do want somebody that's strict. You do want somebody that stand on business. You do want somebody that won't back down in the face of a threat. Right? All of this is the development of the self in operation. So you become what they call an operant Mason. The speculative Masons are the ones who studying what you're doing and trying to figure it out. What is he doing? Why is he doing that? So they study human psychology, sociology, And then they try to use that information to control all of the people. But some of us is uncontrollable. They're incorrigible. You can't control me. Only I can control me. And I'm only going to let you control me to the degree in which it benefits me. When the benefit is gone, your control is lost. So Crowley did exactly what he said. He didn't stay with Blavatsky long because she was putting the secrets out in open. He didn't stay with Israel Regardie long because he was putting the secrets out in the open. Right? He didn't even want to touch Rudolf Steiner because he wasn't scared of too many people, but Rudolf Steiner wasn't his cup of tea, nor was Franz Bardon. Right? But Crowley did exactly what he said he was going to do. Expose the church and expose the lodge. He put the lodge business out in the open. They put a hit on him. He just survived it.
And they ran him up out of was that England? They ran him up out of somewhere where their main stronghold was. He got ran up out of there. And they moved him out the country. It was Switzerland or somewhere. He got ran up out of there.
Yeah, he ended up. I think he died on a little island outside of Italy.
Yeah, he was trying to do this 6-month spell, the longest spell they got in their spell book.
Well, if you don't do the maintenance on them, then they dissipate. It's energy.
Yeah.
If you don't, it's like driving a car. If you don't put no gas in it, it ain't going nowhere.
Yeah.
Right? It's the same thing.
Yeah.
The same engine that you burn gas in, with a few tweaks, you can burn water in it.
Yeah.
So the great deception come in and them telling you that the only way you can get this amount of power out of this engine is you got to use fossil fuel.
Yeah. 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 It's already somebody that they already converted it in the 1800s. Over here, we had cars running off of water. They come to find out that's what that dude was breaking down that clip. I ain't played the whole clip, but he said that we were more advanced. Like Nikola Tesla was just a cover up. Like he said he's saying that we already had lights and plumbings and like sewer systems and everything over here before Christopher Columbus came. Like sewer systems.
Yeah, we had all that.
Look, and trains and stuff.
We wasn't no Stone Age spear chucking backwoods. We didn't need weapons.
Yeah.
We only needed weapons to hunt. We didn't need weapons to fight war. We didn't have them kind of wars.
Yeah.
If it got bad enough, my chief gonna fight your chief.
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
Or they gonna pick their champion.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's why I say if it was a war to be won with the fist, Big Tookie and Mike Tyson would have took it a long time ago. It wasn't about that. Those were what they call them. Those were bullet points on the essay. Somebody that can do it all. It wasn't about physics.